Hello, hello, So-La-Rah here. I hope you guys are doing well. I just wanted to come on here quickly and maybe pull some cards as a follow-up to the message I just gave, but also because I was getting ready to like wind down for the night and my guides were showing me something, and I just want to kind of they've been showing it to me for a while. It was the past few days. I guess it's just kind of a reminder while I'm sitting here to kind of share it with the collective. And that is that I shared on, I think, Sunday or Monday, the Sunday Daily Alchemy message that I posted in the portal. And in that message, when I shared it, I said that a lot of the energies that were going on in that particular message were really being targeted towards those of you who have Egyptian, are connected to old Egyptian timelines where you were royalty. And for some of you, it's like it's to do with being royalty on earth, but it's also to do with your divine lineage, which is a little bit different. But the point is that what my guides are speaking to me right now, they were telling me that there are certain gifts or symbols that have been placed in your energy fields that through the successful closure of this season, as you move into Leo season, especially towards what they call the 8-8 portal, those things are wanting to open up, but they require a certain heart resonance. So I keep on talking about the importance of removing heart chakra blocks. And the last video was about expressing your truth, not holding on to things that don't belong to you because they sully your fields. And this is why. This is why they're telling me to come back. They're like, this is why we've been showing you this. And what they've actually been showing me is I have this deck. I don't know. The deck isn't in fullness right now, meaning that all the cards aren't here. So I'm not going to use it for a reading, but maybe I can find the card that they were showing me. It's called Yushuptis in this deck. This is the I forget the name of this deck. It's the Osset. I forget. It's something Osset. It's the Osset deck. And Osset, if you don't know, is another name for the goddess Isis. Okay. So there's this thing called Yushuptis. And if you guys remember doing, here we go. If you guys remember your, we all did an ancient Egyptian, what would we call it? Like a, I can't think right now. It's like after midnight. We all did an ancient Egyptian, term or whatever in our curriculum as kids. I'm sure you did. And some of you, I'm sure, even went on to study it at higher levels, whether it was university or by your own soul's calling and desire that led you there. And many of you who this message is resonating with, you guys have strong connection with that pantheon or with the Neteru, right? I say that because you may remember when you learned about the ancient Egyptians that they held a lot of what is the word, reverence for the process of death and burial. And when they buried official people, they would always bury them with certain items, and they would bury them in certain ways. And I have a beautiful client who shared an article with me a few months ago. And I think I mentioned it in another reading. It was where they had found, within a mummy, they'd found all of these, I think they'd x-rayed it, and they'd found all of these little symbols in the wraps of, what we would call the bandaging. And they were sacred symbols, right? The most obvious one we know of is the Ankh, but there are so many different ancient Egyptian symbols that mean something, right? And this is what was called, I believe this is what was called the Yushuti. So these were the energies that, I wonder if I have the book here with me, because the book says it better than, yes. Let me read directly from the book so I'm not making shit up. So this is the number 44 card. Y'all know the 4-4 resonance. If you've been with me for a minute, it's been a big one. You should tease. So these little faience or clay figurines of the deceased developed a life of their own after they were ceremonially and magically blessed, to enable them to assist the mummy they were buried with in the tomb. The richer you were, the more Ushubtis you had in the afterlife, 365 to 1,000 for some pharaohs. They serve as a reminder that spiritual and everyday help is always there. So this is the channeled message from the voice of many Ushubtis. We speak as one. For when we were placed in the tombs, we worked together in the fields of the Duat, or afterlife, and we helped the deceased as we looked like her. So then she could rest and be safe there as we were like her guardian angels. So they were crafted in the likeness of the person who died, these little figurines, and they were crafted in order to be their protectors as they traveled into the next life. And there's something here right now in this energy that I've been picking up for a while now, like for a few weeks, like maybe 2 weeks, of this energy of these beings coming on board for some of you now to assist you as you move, as you transition from one life into the next. Some of you are literally about to enter into a new life. You're about to enter into the fullness of your reclaimed timelines that can only occur when you've done a certain level of work. And because of that, the attacks that have been against you have been especially strong. And the beings that have been sent against you are ones who have had specific beef with you because of who you were in these Egyptian timelines. That's been very clear to me. And I would venture to say that this is something that happens every year on the calendar for those of you who have this Egyptian royalty resonance. And it's kind of connected with the rising of Sirius, the flooding of the Nile, and what that means, and how, it all connects with the alignment of Orion and Sirius with the pyramids of Giza that create what they call the 8-8 portal. It's all a build up to that oftentimes I've noticed it begins around Gemini season. So a lot of the attacks that have come into your life at this time of the year and have been about the prevention of certain energies from this timeline waking up to assist you. And some of you have woken up, these Ushubtis that are here to assist you a little bit differently. It's here, like I said, to assist you to transition from this old matrix existence into a newer version of your truth, if that makes sense. So I often tell people, like, when I look at the Egyptian stories, I don't see them as just traveling from like life to the afterlife, like dying physically. It's also about all of the metaphysical deaths we go through. So I brought it up in the last reading, but I'm going to say it, the last video, but I'm going to say it again now. Every time it's time for us to level up, we are faced with these energies of judgment to see if we're ready. And so, these energies that come against you have a divine purpose. And my guys were showing me this is part of their divine creation, like creative. Their reason for existing is to help you to level up. So we do a disservice when we try to push these energies entirely out of our fields before we learn why they're there in the first place. And I learned that, I kept on cycling through the same thing. So what do I mean by that? I say this all the time. Whenever something occurs in your life, don't be a victim about it. even when it's sent and its intention is to victimize you. That's especially when you rise up and you become the victor and you say, okay, you're here. What do you want? Why are you here? What are you here to show me? What are you here to give me? What is my level up? I'm a divine being, so if you're coming into my fields, it's for my good. So let's get this over with. We're not going to go through the whole woe is me, God, why? We're just going to say, what are you here to show me? And because I'm looking for my up level now, because I know it's coming, you know. And when we switch from that mindset of why does this always happen to me, or why God, why, or poor me, and I know that because I stayed in that resonance for a fucking long time. When we move from that into, okay, well, what is this here for? Because it's here for my good. I'm a divine being. Everything works out for my good. So what is it here for? And when we do that, we get the message, the activation quickly, and then we move on to the next thing. But what I'm saying is that at every juncture, before we up level, there is this energy of judgment for all of us. And the judgment comes with the scales of Ma'at. It comes, is your heart as light as a feather? Or is your heart light enough to receive what wants to come in for you to take you to the next level? So again, in order for these yushuptis, these specific helpers that belong to those of you who are from Egyptian royalty lines, in order for these yushuptis to come in and bring you extra assistance, I just heard celestially, your heart resonance has to be at a certain frequency that you can sustain. I talked about this also in the last Daily Alchemy I posted in the community board. When we delve into spiritual waters that we are not equipped to go into because we're not expanded enough to actually receive the true wisdom that's supposed to come from venturing there. And oftentimes the reason people will go into those waters is out of ego instead of out of being called by the divine. Wherever the divine calls you, you are equipped to go. So a lot of the time people try to go into spiritual waters they're not equipped to go into, they're going in them too soon, or they're trying to follow someone else in there. And it's not a wise thing, because this is where people lose their minds, because they're not equipped to be traveling to those depths. They don't have what it takes to deal with the projections and the illusions and the entities and the energies. They don't have the resonance. They don't have the expansion of consciousness. They don't have the wisdom. They don't have the experience, and they don't have the protection. And it can literally make them go crazy, because these entities will play with you. They'll bounce you around and play with you like a ball, and you won't even realize you're being played with until it's too late, you know? And so I say all of that because at every level we go, when we need to go higher, we need to go deeper, because remember, divine beings, we have a lot of you have this energy of access all areas. You can go low and you can go deep. You can go into the underworld and you'll never get lost because of, you know, your own like your former incarnations, or who you are as a being cosmologically, and also because of the level that you've attained in ascension and the protection and the wisdom you have that is able to take you there and bring you out safely. So I say all of that because there's some kind of up level that's happening now for some of you who have this, Egyptian resonance, where you are reacquiring the assistance of these yushuptis. And for some of you, it's literally the yushuptis, like the clay figurines that were buried with you. But for some of you, it's also like literally the activation of certain energies within your fields, whether it's like literally in your physical body, in your DNA, or whether it is in your mental or emotional body in resonance. And it's connected to your gifts, your talents, your healing abilities, your psychic insights. For all of you, it's going to be different. But every year at this point of the year, because of what I explained with this, the Sirius star and everything, you've had an opportunity to reconnect with these energies or reconnect with other energies that are connected specifically with this part of who you are. And at every turn, this time of the year is when the fight against you, the beings that were coming against you at any level, whether it was like back in the day when it was a karmic best friend, whether it was a karmic sibling, a karmic mother, a karmic father, or now if it's even complete strangers, it doesn't matter. It's the same energy that's trying to come into your fields to prevent you from having the heart resonance you need to be able to gain this extra assistance. Because for some of you, the gaining of this extra assistance is what's going to also bring in, like I said, the higher timeline. But with the higher timeline comes everything. The divine union comes, divine opportunities, your divine gifts, talents, powers, resources is all going to start to flow back into your life with ease. So this is why these energies pop up into your fields, wanting to try and, well, right now it's wanting to try and get you to block your own heart chakra through a myriad of ways, including what I spoke about in the last video, which was not expressing yourself and holding on to energies and resonances that aren't your own out of guilt. That would be a big one. I mentioned it in the video on Saturday. So, some of the major blocks right now, that the major energies are dealing right now to keep heart chakras blocked, are guilt and envy. Those would be the two of the main ones. There's a reason why they say green with envy. It's heart chakra. Envy is one of the biggest heart chakra blocks of all time, because envy indicates that you don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you cannot have access to your divine truth. The criteria for accessing your divine contracts is knowing who you are in truth and walking in that truth. And this is why there is no way to fake it. And this is why, for all the things the doppelgangers did in terms of siphoning your energy, connecting, stealing from your Akashics, doing all that other shit, they would never ever be able to take your energy and replicate it in such a way that they would do justice to who you really are when you have that energy back, if that makes sense. So the main criteria for accessing your heart is to know yourself. And when you know yourself, it's hard not to fall in love with yourself, as opposed to what people think you should be or what it is that once upon a time you wanted to be, based upon comparing yourself to beings who you never were supposed to be like. If you're still, when we compare ourselves to other people, we're still connecting to the woundedness of the matrix templates that wanted us doing that, so we wouldn't come back into the fullness of loving self, because they didn't want us connecting with our heart chakras and opening. They didn't want us doing any of that. So at every turn, part of the strategy is to make you hate yourself and to make others want to be you. And a lot of the time, this is why we have celebrity culture. A lot of the time, the people that you think or we thought that we wanted to be like don't actually even want to be themselves either. So that's the craziness of it all too, so with that said, that probably is a lot of the energy that has been, if this is your message, that has been the energy you've been dealing with. You've been dealing with beings who are extremely envious of you, and they're extremely envious of you. Even if they're strangers, they're extremely envious of you because in past timelines, they carried that energy, and they had the opportunity. I said this in the Daily Alchemy from Sunday. They had the opportunity this lifetime to alchemize it with you, should they have chosen, but a lot of them chose not to. They chose instead to be ops. So these beings tend to be spiritually less mature than you, and the envy they have towards you is because of your spiritual prowess even back then, but also your access, the access that afforded you. And so a lot of the time, these beings would have come into your fields, even originally acting as if they were some of your greatest admirers. And they were drawn to you, but they were drawn to you because they still lack and they want to take from you. And a lot of the time they want to be you. And there's a lot of stuff that is circulating around in this energy that they've shown me. A lot of stuff that has to do with the racism and bigotry templates that have been sewn into us societally within the matrix system. A lot of that is coming up too, and it's because of these energies specifically. It's why I don't want to go there right now. It's too much. I'm not ready to go there. I'm not going there right now. But suffice to say that a lot of those energies of discrimination and limited thinking around how people should be in accordance with lifestyle, race, all this other stuff, all of these things are coming up for us to make sense of right now. And if we are honest with ourselves and where we stand on it in terms of how we deal with other people, but also even the messages that we've received, we get to move forward. So, for example, the beings that have been coming for me I've noticed that they have deep-rooted issues with Black women that they don't want to see. They don't like to see Black women do well. They don't like to see Black people, but these beings specifically, they don't like to see a Black woman do well. And this is like, for me, it's been majority white women, but I've also dealt with it with Black women too. It's been really predominantly a female energy I've noticed this time around, where they really don't like it. I said it in the last video, a lot of joy thievery and people who don't want to steal people's joy right now. And I've seen it, and my guides have shown it to me, and it's unraveled, and the energy has played out to prove that they were right, that there is this energy that these women carry that it's racist. But they don't want to see that, because so much of racism is such a dirty word, right? It's such an ugly thing that a lot of the time people don't want to see the ways that just their programming and conditioning has created these discriminatory ways of thinking or believing, really, that they don't want to attribute to that. So they therefore block it out and pretend like that's not their problem, like their problem is with you, when really the problem is that they have issues in their own heart about Black women. You know, for whatever reason. It could be because they were raised in a certain area. It could be that they had a bad experience. It doesn't matter. Everyone's trauma and the way they respond, it's different. But at the end of the day, it's all a matrix spell, you know? And I tell people this all the time. I tell them, you know, these energies, there's no shame in admitting to them, because they are not you. They're spells and programming that have been cast, and now your job is to remove yourself, your true self, from the spell and from the energies in order for you to rise. And if you're in denial of that, then you're still married, you're still contracted to those energies, and those energies are going to fuck with you. They're going to fuck with you, and they're going to fuck with other people who they want to attack through you. So that's one way I've been experiencing it. What else? Is there anything else you want to share? I want to say that many of you who are part of these Egyptian timelines, your divine partners, that might have been the last time you guys were actually together. Maybe not, but for some of you, it was. And there's a lot coming together right now in terms of the messages I've been receiving on unions. I just took my kids today to see Super Mario Brothers. We're all late on that. And they tell you what's happening I said it in a reading about a month ago on Divine Counterparts. I said that there was this energy of the reinstating of the 13 original bloodlines that are the guardians of the earth. And they're coming together through very specific divine unions. And that these particular beings are the ones who are going to put these matrix entities back into their borders and remove the fear frequencies that have caused disorder and trauma in the natural world. To sum it up, that's what the reading was about. If I remember, I'll post it below. But in the movie today, they showed me that again. So I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. But at the very end of it, the villain, I forget what his name is. I forget the name of the villain. Let me see if one of my kids are up. Hello?
Bowser.
Oh, she was waiting. She's like in bed waiting for me waiting for me to remember. Bowser is the name of the villain. Bowser. Okay, so at the end of the movie, okay, and I'm sorry to ruin it if any of you guys haven't seen it, but yeah, maybe fast forward 2 minutes if you really are that pressed about the ends of movies and stuff. I know that like for some people they hate that. So I'm telling you now, I'm about to talk about the Super Mario movie and how it ends. So if you haven't seen it, you know, click off or come back in about 3 minutes. Bowser, okay, he has stolen the golden star, which is really interesting because that energy was coming up in a reading a few weeks ago and I couldn't figure out why. And I shared it. It's like, I don't know why golden star is coming up, blah, blah, blah. And I shared it with a few of you and some of you came back to me and said it was for you. But I just found it interesting. I haven't gone into exactly all of what it means yet. I have a few ideas, but nothing that I'm actually ready to share yet. But the golden star, he's stolen the golden star. And the golden star is like the energy that's going to make him like invincible, right? The golden star is actually, you know, like destiny, people's certain divine beings' energy and destiny and activations for them to connect with their destiny. So anyway, so Bowser thinks that he can come to Princess Peach and because he has the golden star, that they can get married and merge their power and their kingdoms and rule their world, right? And Bowser is clearly not connected with his heart because he doesn't seem to know or realize or recognize that it takes more to win a woman's heart than a golden star. For one thing, be a decent being, which Bowser clearly wasn't, right? Bowser had a lot of childhood wounds, but we won't get into that. Like the wounds. Anyway, let me go. Let me stop because I can do a whole reading on the Super Mario Brothers, but we're not going to go there right now. So Bowser has a golden star and he comes to Princess Peach and says, will you marry me? He's been reciting in this speech for, forever. And she's just like, are you kidding me? And then eventually she agrees to marry him because he threatens her kingdom and he threatens her people and the little toad that was defending her. And so she caves in out of fear. But then on the wedding, she attacks him, right? And binds him. But anyway, at the end of the movie, all of that's occurring in their world, in their dimension, is dragged through a portal into New York, into Brooklyn. Surprise, surprise, right? And so Mario and Luigi are together, and there's this fight against Bowser, and eventually the fight is won by Luigi and Mario together getting the golden star. And so when they get the golden star, their light bodies activate. Their light body, and you see it, their light bodies activate and they're able to connect to all of their superpowers. All of the things that they had to go into the boxes and power up for, they get to connect. They get their light bodies pretty much. But what then happens is that Princess Peach then presents Bowser with a mushroom that causes him to be small. and he gets put in a little bottle. Are you seeing? Okay, let me explain it if you're not. At the end, when Mario and Luigi get their light bodies, Princess Peach puts this entity of destruction in a place where it can no longer disturb people. She doesn't destroy Bowser. I don't know what she did with him in the end, but she shrunk his power, you know, made him small, shrunk his power, and put him aside. Okay, now Bowser was also coming against divine unions, if you really want to look at it like that, because I think Princess Peach and Mario eventually get together. I don't know, but that's the vibe I was getting anyway, because they are divine partners. So this is what they're showing you. They're showing you everything that I've been telling you and other readers are telling you, because by universal law, in order for them to dupe the masses, they have to tell you what they're doing, but they tell it to you in ways where they make you think, oh, it's just entertainment, you know, it's not real, so that they can, because they're tricksters. But at the end of the day, they can't, they're gonna, in their minds, it's just like none of us can say we didn't know, because it was constantly being shown to us. We just chose not to believe it, because we chose to believe that it was fake based upon the programming and conditioning. But here's the thing. We've always had minds of our own to decide and to choose what we wanted to believe. And that's where it gets tricky with universal law. So anyway, I say all of that because there's something here to do with whoever this reading is for. There's a connection here with the divine union. You might be one of those beings that I was speaking about in that divine counterpart video. These beings that have been coming for you may very well be your Bowsers. They might even have, like for some of you, especially in romance, but it doesn't have to be romance, because it doesn't have to be romance for people to become obsessed with you. Because Bowser was obsessed with Princess Peach. Y'all probably know that song. I've been singing it for days. It's really very catchy. The Peaches, Peaches, Peaches song. And I like to sing it with like my whole, well, no. Okay, so, no, I like that song because I like Jack Black. But when I realized today what the song was actually about, etc., I have to like not sing that anymore. But anyway, let's see if there are any other messages, because I'm gonna not make this one too, well, it's already half an hour. I'm not the most succinct person. I'm quite verbose, in case you don't already know that. Oh, I like words. I like words, and I like to fully express things. I like to make sure that I do my best, that people can't come and say that I haven't broken things down or explained. I just lost a card. Hold on a second. Oh, I love it when my guides give me 3 cards, because it means that they're showing me a specific flow of energy. So we got the overarching theme is the 9 of Cups. And the 9 of Cups, of course, is, okay, I've got a Dido song coming through. It's from her, I forget the name of the album. I can see the album cover. It was black and white picture with red writing. It's called Sand in My Shoes. I've still got sand in my shoes, and I can't shake the thought of you. I should get on, forget you, but why would I want to? Let's see. Two weeks away feels like the whole world should have changed, but I'm home now and things still look the same. Think I'll leave it till tomorrow to unpack, try to forget for one more night that I'm back in my flat, on the road where the cars never stop going through the night, to a life where I can't watch the sunset. I don't have time. I don't have time. I've still got sand in my shoes, and I can't shake the thought of you. I should get on, forget you, but why would I want to? I know we said goodbye. Anything else would have been confused, but I want to see you again. Okay, so this is something about somebody waking up to the monotony of their lives and the foolishness of being. Why do I keep on dropping the same card? The foolishness of the futility of it all, right? And I'm guessing that for many of you, this would be a divine partner, unless this is you. It could be you. But there's this energy coming through of someone who is, the Sand in My Shoes song is about someone who's come back from, I think it's like from vacation is kind of the vibe I get from it. Or that feeling you get when you've been away and you've left your environment for a while and it felt good to leave your environment. But then you got to come back and it almost feels like you start to sometimes do inventory of why you shouldn't feel this good all the time. So it's almost like this energy of somebody feeling good with you and having maybe sabotaged that, or I don't really want to go too deep into this energy right now, but it really does feel like there's some kind of reminiscing here. There's some kind of like recognizing and realizing that the loop. There's someone who's recognizing and realizing the loop is what I'm getting here. Somebody recognizing and realizing the loop and wanting to come out of it. We have the Nine of Cups at the bottom. This is, again, the energy. It's a solitary energy. It's Pisces energy. It is heart energy. It's emotional energy. But it's also connected to the feet. And that is all to do with direction. It's also to do with, it can have many things, but to do with direction, to do with moving forward, to do with open or blocked roads, to do with your Earth star. Ooh, that's it. It's the Earth star. It's the Earth star connection. So back in, I want to say in 2020, I had a vision about twin flames having activated some kind of Earth star energy that they share. And I spoke about this in the video I did on Saturday about the timelines and how they came and they really fucked with the twin flame divine partners, however you want to see it. They fucked with those times. They fucked with them many times, but 2020 was a big time where they did that again, and they've had us in this 3-year cycle, 3-year loop. This kind of feels like someone's waking up from that. And the activation that came through in my dream, it feels like either for some the process began back then or it's about to unfold now. Yeah, so what we actually have, this card was hiding behind another one, so it's still in the overarching theme. We have the Four of Cups in the world, sorry, the Five of Cups and the world. So this is the end. This is an energy of surrender, right? And what is the surrender? Because the world is a bigger energy than the Five of Cups because it's major arcana. So it's the full surrender and the end of a cycle. And what is it the end of a cycle of? Well, I can only assume it's the end of the Five of Cups. You know, and the Five of Cups energy is, again, having spilled, like having messed up an opportunity. Having messed up an opportunity for the Three of Cups. But also the Five of Cups is, and the Three of Cups can be romantic too, because it speaks about the energy of the Two of Cups coming together to bring in the extra element that's needed to hold the energy together. Three of Cups can have different resonances, but the Five of Cups is also that energy of regret for having not done something and lamenting over the regret instead of going for the Two of Cups and in getting stuck in the regret, not seeing that the Two of Cups is still possible. So we have the world here, which is like it's almost like what I'm feeling is like it's a letting go of an energy of sabotage, or letting go of an energy of not believing that this kind of Well, this kind of love is possible, really, especially with the Nine of Cups. It just feels like this energy of surrender. It's almost like this person is surrendering to feeling good and following their own heart. And really, that's what this whole season is about. It's what I've been talking about, like the ability for us um, to really tune into our own energy and what feels good for us. This almost feels like it's the energy of someone who did so much in their lives trying to keep up with the Joneses or what they were supposed to do, and it having not brought them, like the sand in my shoes, like that futility, and having it not brought them the contentedness that they're looking for. And it's almost like if this is you and this is your divine partner and this is a person that you're not in union with, this is the energy I'm feeling. It's almost like this person, when you were in their energy, they pushed you out because they didn't want to believe or connect with the dream. That's the Nine of Cups energy. It's the Pisces, Neptunian energy that helps us connect to the dream. We think that divine love is a dream. It's not a dream that's supposed to stay just in dream state in the ethers. It's the dream we're supposed to connect to and ground it into our reality by way of connecting with the energy that that supports the dream. And oftentimes the energy that supports the dream is the waking up out of the futility and the mindsets of the matrix, waking up and letting go of these karmic energies, which is the World card. It's the Saturnian energy and the being bound up in timelines that keep you going around in circles. What's needed to connect with that Neptunian dream, with Neptune is also the higher aspect of love. What is needed is to find the happiness and the joy within self and to go after that and then connect with other people that grow that in you. And for you, if this message is for you, this person found it in you, but thought that it was too good to be true, or thought that it wasn't possible, or thought that they weren't worthy. You know, the whole, story of how these things happen. And it feels like there's been an awakening. There's been a shift where this person is choosing joy. They're choosing the dream. They're choosing it first for self with the Nine of Cups. The challenge is the Ace of Pentacles. So for some of you, this person doesn't know how to birth this thing in reality. Ace of Pentacles is the birthing of an energy in real time. So they don't know how to bring this forth in real time. And for some of them, they don't know how real this is still. Like they feel it. They really feel it, but they don't know how to bring it into, they don't know how to ground the dream. And they also don't know if for them, it's just, it's almost like they don't know if it's a singular energy with the Ace of Pentacles, if it's like one-sided. And for some of them, with that Sand in My Shoes, that Dido song, it's to do with, it's also to do, with not knowing if you feel the same way. Cups energy, let me think about this. Wands is days. Swords is weeks. Cups is months. For some of you, it may have been as much as a year with the Ace of Pentacles since you last saw this person or had any communication. Some of you, it's 9 months. Some of you, it's 5 months. Some of you, it is like a whole turning of the wheel, which for many of you will be 3 years, 3 or 4 years, because what they're showing me is that this cycle, they're showing me this cycle again of the fucking with the timelines in 2020 and it closing out here. And so for some of you, that might have been the last time you had contact with this person because of the fuckery of the timelines. We have the Six of Swords, which again, 6 is in tarot. This is Aquarius energy, but it's connected with the Lovers. Now, in this particular card, there's somebody that's following the light of the moon. This feels more like a going into the unknown. So the Six of Swords in tarot in general is about, the sixes are about making choices, right? Choices that are based upon whether we're going to rise into our divine contracts with that Lovers Gemini energy, or whether we're going to go around the cycle again. And so the Six of Swords is someone having made up their mind that they're going to follow. They're going to follow what feels empowering to them. They're going to move away from that has disempowered them, and they're going to move towards what feels like they're what is empowering them. But what's also 0044 on my clock right now, very interesting. But what is let's see if I can show you if it's too bright again. Oh, it's always too bright. Oh, sorry, it's always the reflection of the screen that doesn't let me show you guys that. But with this particular deck, this person is not in a boat like on the other one. Like in the decks that are more like Pamela Cole Smith illustrations of the Rider-Waite variety. The Pamela Cole Smith inspired illustrations often will show two people in a boat going forward, but they're not on a boat. This person's following two people that seem to know where they're going, but they don't necessarily, know where they're going. That's kind of what I feel. But they're following almost like the light of the moon. And what I'm getting here is because it's in the upright, this is taking them deeper into their own emotions and their subconscious. So for some of you, this is a person who's about to take a journey within to recover certain things that are going to be needed for your union. Because this is a deep travel into the subconscious. And the fact that these two people are cloaked is almost like they're stepping out on faith. They're stepping out on faith and what feels good, and it might not make sense to them, but what definitely doesn't make sense is what they've been doing all this time. And so now they're like, they're taking a chance. They're taking a risk. They don't know where they're going, but it feels better than where they were. And that's kind of what I'm getting. It's kind of what I'm getting. Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to do any more. Let's go into the Beyond Lemuria deck and get one final card. Because a lot of you, this goes obviously way before, beyond ancient Egypt. It's just something about that timeline that is being activated right now, restored, put back together. Osiris energy. But what a lot of the ancient Egyptians brought forth in terms of spiritual wisdom and knowledge was stuff that certain beings established from Lemuria and Atlantis. At least that's what I've been shown. This person is learning how to receive. They're not quite there yet. They have to learn, and the whole learning how to receive is a lesson. This is the lesson they're going forward in learning. And if they're learning it, you're learning it too. You might just be learning it on a higher level. They're learning how to, what we have here is we have gracious receptivity, but it came out in the reverse. And we have this beautiful, beautiful blue being. These cards are also activation, so they're quite cool. And we also have full spectrum coming out. And, ooh, yeah, that's beautiful too. And then at the bottom, we have internal explorer. Yeah. So this person is definitely learning how to go within. That's at the bottom of this deck. They're learning, and this card is again supporting that journey into the depths of their soul, into their subconscious. That's why the moon was there. Okay. It's beautiful, like indigo being. And then we have a crown blossoming, a crown awakening. We also have, it feels like a bit of a throat chakra energy here, which again is putting them into alignment with their truth. But we have full spectrum, we have gracious receptivity. So it feels like this person's lesson right now is learning how to trust themselves enough to open up their hearts to receive, which is again the message that has been coming through for us too, which is why we're here to clear heart blocks, because without clearing the heart blocks, without reaching a certain resonance, by the time Leo season comes along, we won't be able to connect with the energies that want to stream through us or come back to us or help us to connect with higher dimensional realities and timelines that are opening for us. So it feels like this person is also doing that, but they may be, at this moment, they may be dealing with this in a different way than you. In other words, you know, like healing happens in layers. So you're always healing stuff, right? So you might be healing deeper aspects of this. You might have gone farther than them in the sense that you've learned already how to trust yourself enough to follow your own intuition and to take those steps forward when you feel guided intuitively. It feels like this person is just waking up to following their own intuitive guidance. And the first step for following your intuitive guidance is going where your intuition leads you. Because it feels right with that Nine of Cups energy. And so I said with this Six of Swords, it feels like they may not know what it is that they're doing or where they're going, but it feels right. And so they're going with it. They've made up their mind. The Swords energy is mind. They've made up their mind. The Nine of Cups means that they're further along emotionally than they may be mentally, which is actually a beautiful thing, because now they have to breach the gap or the chasm between the Six of Swords and the Nine of Cups. Okay, and they're going to do that by learning how to be open to receiving. And what they're open to receiving, they're learning how to be open to receiving from spirit. They're learning how to be open to receiving divine guidance. And the only way to do that is to go forward and follow intuition and to trust self and to continue to take steps that honor that. That's what takes us deeper. That's what breaks the barriers of our own of the energies that keep us out of faith and stuck in futility. Okay. Neptunian energy also is connected. Like I said, it's connected with the dream. It's connected with the hope. They're following hope right now. They're following hope blindly, and they're being led to learn how to turn that hope into the faith that they need, because they're operating. The Nine of Cups energy means they have high hopes. The Six of Swords energy means that the faith that they have is like beginning to blossom, but it's not big yet. So it's almost like the way they're showing me this energy right now is that they have to latch on to that hope in order to bring the faith up to the same level, because it's the hope that will lead them. It's the trusting that hope that will continue to grow their faith. But that can only happen as they become more open to the experience. And that requires, connecting to the heart, and not really connecting because we have the Nine of Cups. It's more like trusting their own heart. And as they do that, the blocks are going to fall, because right now we have gracious receptivity in reverse. We also have full spectrum, which is showing me also that there is that just by Six of Swordsing, moving forward, realizing the futility of the cycle, moving past it, breaking it with the world, there already are activations that have come on board for this person. Yeah, they are step out of black and white mentality of good and bad, honor the full spectrum of life and see through fresh eyes. When we judge something, we create a story about it. And often these stories are limiting. So this person is being expanded beyond what it is that they might be, might have thought was possible. Expansion is almost never comfortable, but it feels like this is deeper. It feels like they're expanding beyond what they thought was possible. And the reason that they're able to do that is because they're connecting with the dream. And for many of you, the energy that flowed between you from the beginning is what activated the dream, but they pushed it down. And when they pushed it down and then they reconnected with their mundane lives, all they couldn't escape the longing for the dream. Because once you get a taste of the dream, even if you walk away from it and you reject it, you never really let it go. There are many who have connected with this kind of energy, and they may have gone on externally living lives that are so far removed from what it was that they originally connected with when it came to this energy with another person, but trust and believe they never forget it. And I'm talking about men too, because we often think as women that this is more of a especially on this journey, what we call the twin flame journey, we often think that this depth of emotion and feeling is only us, because oftentimes, when we're dealing with divine masculines, they are working through their own wounding, and they never express to us. They don't tell us what it is. They don't ever give us, or in the past, they never gave us anything to confirm what it was that we were feeling. And as such, that's what raised the questioning and all of that. That's why many of you got into tarot, but that was all the design also, so that you would wake up, because your ascension is leading them into ascension. So, it feels like you connected with the dream and you ran off with it, and now they're connecting with the dream. And I feel like this energy is going to bring them forward pretty quickly. And I think these energies in Cancer and Leo season are facilitating that. And I think that is why at every turn these Gemini energies are trying to close the door. But this person has gotten away. With the Six of Swords, they've gotten away from the mental fuckery. Six of Swords is getting away, and it's swords energy. And they still have things they're going to have to go through in order to get to the Ten of Swords and take out all of those swords and mental energies that promote hanging on to the woundedness and not believing in the dream and not connecting with the dream and not connecting with hope and staying the course and following where the hope leads and building faith. They're still going to have to go through trials, but I just really feel like this is going to be quite accelerated for some of them, and it's because of where we are in ascension. It's because of the work you're doing, but it's also, again, I want to emphasize that this timeline fuckery they did in 2020, it's falling apart now. And what that means is that many of the timelines and opportunities that you missed, if you're doing, if you've been doing the work and you're ready to receive, which is what this person is being made ready for, all of those timelines are going to converge, and you're going to be placed where you should have always been had you not been fucked with. That's what's happening for you. And if it's happening for you, it's happening for them. So it's almost like you're going forward and they may be behind you, but there's going to be such a speed up. Because all timelines will be put back into the place of where they should be, for as long as we are willing to clear the densities that have us believing otherwise and have us either clinging to old energies or have us open to these old energies to cling to us. So I hope that makes sense. I never intend on staying on the, doing these readings for very long, and then I get carried away because, it is what it is. But I hope that whoever this reading was for, that it is helpful and insightful. I hope it brings confirmation. I hope it brings clarity. I am doing love readings now for those of you who are sensing that it's time for you to get ready for union. My love readings are still geared towards personal growth, because it's through your personal growth and the accessing of your own Stargate that you are opening the path for them to do this too, and for the timelines to converge. So, you know, this is why I took a minute with coming back. I started off with love readings when I began tarot. I did a lot of divine partner love readings for people, but it became very apparent very quickly that people were not interested in healing, which actually grieved my spirit, because I've been on this journey of healing for love before I met my divine partner through, you know, I was married through my marriage. So I've been on this journey for well over a decade, and I know that the only way forward is to heal. And so it really disappointed me and discouraged me that so many people just wanted to hear fairy tales instead of living the fairy tale. Like, people wanted to hear about the dream instead of grounding it. And for me, it's just like, no, my whole life has been about grounding the dream. So if you'd like to work with me on that level, I'm offering love readings in both, well, not both, in 3 formats. Audio, where you receive an MP4 or private YouTube link from me, you can choose. Video, which will be a private YouTube link, or you can meet with me one-to-one on a video mentorship session, and we do the reading and mentorship in person, which some people like. I think it's nice because you get to ask your questions in real time, and that always is a little bit different. But yeah, so I am offering love readings. If you are interested, please go to my website first before you contact me, and please read what I've written in capital letters at the very bottom of the monthly specials page. That's where you're going to find the love readings. You're going to find them under the monthly specials tab. And please read what I've written in capital letters before you contact me, because I'm very serious about who I work with right now. My job as a divine being is to help seed in new earth relationship dynamics. I'm here to help you come home to self, so that you can come home to all things that are your birthright. And as such, I only like to work with beings who have high levels of self-awareness and who are committed to that too. And there are a lot of people, again, I'll say it from experience, that like to hear these stories, but they don't necessarily believe it's possible, or don't want to do what it takes, because it takes a lot, as I'm sure you guys are all aware. This journey ain't for the weak, you know, because you are the ones who are here to break through the energies that have kept you out of it. And in doing that, in establishing yourself in these unions, you're opening dimensional doorways that make it possible for others to do it more easily. And so as such, the heavy density, the heavy clearing of this stuff falls on you. It falls on us. It falls on those who've gone before us and removed even denser energies for us to even get to where we are now. So yes. Yeah, you can check out my website for all information concerning my services and working with me. Again, please do that before coming to me with an email. My website is very, as you can see, I'm a very verbose person. I'm very highly mercurial. My Virgo likes the detail of breaking things down so that people get what I'm saying, and I get that we all have different communication styles, and so sometimes there still will be miscommunication, but the point is I do my best. So you go on my website, it tells you everything that I offer. It tells you what my services are. If you go into my About Me section, you can read about tarot astrology and my process and how I do it. I've done my best to cover all the information on my website. So please, when you come and you email me and you're like, oh, I want to work with you, but you don't bother to go to my website and read on my services, I don't think many of you realize it. So let me explain to you why I'm a stickler, because you wouldn't know this because this isn't what you have to deal with, which is fine, right? But when you do that, I find myself having to email so many people back just to go back to the website and to explain. And that can sometimes take up a few hours of my day. And I could be spending time with my children. I could be creating more content for you guys. I could be working with more of you guys. There's so many, I could be resting. There's so many things I could do that are so much more productive, not only to myself, but to the collective and the betterment of global energy than redirecting people to information that is already there. So, I'm not saying it to be funny. I just want you to see where I'm coming from. Okay? So yes, I'm sending you guys so much love, joy, peace, balance, harmony, vitality, every beautiful thing that when you are in divine alignment is actually already your birthright. So until next time, I wish you the best. Be well.